Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Nimrod. And beginning with you, Professor Alfred Omeny, of course, as a professional urban planner, listening to the submissions by the Lands Cabinet Secretary, he only took a number of 70, 38, one batch, and 32 the other. He talked about the long-term plan of more than 600,000. Was that the plan? And looking forward, will the numbers that the government had promised be delivered on time?
No, thank you very much, Ayub. I think we've ventilated quite a bit on this housing issue and the housing problem and the housing challenge. Yes, of course, I'm a good taxpayer, and my own salary has been deducted. It has reduced significantly as I contribute to this housing tax, amongst others. The point where we are now, we've sort of given up on giving government any advisory of how to deal with the housing problem, and we've accepted that let government build houses whether they're necessary or not, whether they're solving a problem or not. Let them proceed to build housing. It's a situation where you're saying there's a student who could easily have gotten 80%, but now we're at a point where we're saying let the student pass, even if he's at 40%. So let them build houses anyway. So the point I'm trying to highlight here, and we've said that time without number, actually, that the real serious housing problem we have in this country, if you are to ask yourself what is the housing problem, it is the problem of the homeless. It is the problem of those who are living in inadequate housing, in slums and informal settlements. It is not the problem of the lower class or even the middle income. It is not the problem of home ownership. That is a secondary problem. If we're to look at the ethos of our constitution and the spirit, it is not our biggest priority is really not the working class. Those people don't live in caves. They live in homes. It is people living in situations worse than animals in this country that should actually be targeted. And secondly, what we are saying now, all of us are being taxed uniformly to solve the housing problem. From where I sit, I would love to see most of this money going to that cadre of people. But as it were, you can see what is going to this group of people is 3 billion. And I've said it again, and I'll repeat it over and over and over again on air, that the housing problem is not about houses. Kenyans are living in housing situations. We've done thousands of studies that show quite clearly that you give people security of tenure, you give them a title, they build houses. That you improve infrastructure, they build houses. So the idea that government builds houses is a stupid idea ab initio. And I'll say that as professor of architecture and professor of housing. It is stupid. Nobody does that anywhere on earth. Despite the fact that I've given up that my money will be used on a stupid idea, this idea remains stupid. And I'll keep telling government, as long as I live in this country, that that idea is dumb. We can improve Kenyan housing situation in a massive way by enabling private sector deliver housing. We can improve Kenya's housing situation in a huge way by putting infrastructure. We can improve Kenya's housing situation in a big way by providing social amenities, by providing water, by providing all those basic things. This whole idea that government can build houses is stupid. Number two, housing again is a devolved function. We never envisaged that the national government would go and work with fundis and give us houses. This again is a dumb idea. So anyway, like I'm saying, we've already given up. Let government build whichever houses they want to build, whether they're relevant or not, because this government is incorrigible. They already decided what they wanted to do. They used parliament and other mechanisms to coerce us to do the payment. Now is the law, I will pay, but actually the government housing policy is dumb.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Nyoro.
On housing,